And away we go. It is the nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com, www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Go to the website, get the app. They will deliver right to your front door, pretty much anywhere inside the 275 loop, or Wednesday through Sunday, lunch and dinner. Get down to Dayton, Kentucky, tell them to pump it up, and you will save 15% off of that Galactic goodness. Go get you some. It is out of this world. Hi, Aaron.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Are you still salty about last night? A little?
No. What do you mean?
The Bearcats getting their ass kicked against the yesterday afternoon, I guess. Last night. My brain.
They've been getting their ass kicked more often than not this season. So
true, fair. Trevor, good to see you too. Thank you. We have a win to talk about. We Aaron and I kind of like talked about this after yesterday, whether we were going to go live today or not, and decided if they lost, we probably had to go live, even though I probably wouldn't have wanted to, and we probably would have ended up recording, Aaron, if they had, because I'm done doing live shows after losses. It's draining. If it was kind of inconsequential, we were gonna record. If it was good, then we were gonna go live. Because the people I think need some positivity in their lives right now, Aaron. I thought it was good. Aaron aesthetically did not enjoy watching today's game, so we are going to discuss Cincinnati 90, NKU 66. For a lot of people, I'm sure this felt really good after the debacle at whatever the hell the name of the bank is that owns that arena right now. Trusit, BB&T. I don't know. I think I know why Aaron felt the game felt herky-jerky, and we'll get to it. But I wanted to turn it over to him to kind of state your case on why the game wasn't maybe as enjoyable as the score would indicate, because the score would indicate Cincinnati dominated today.
Score does indicate that, absolutely. And Dan had a great day. It was his career high. That said, even Dan, I thought, looked just none of it was a fluid, smooth game. It's not basketball as I'm accustomed to watching. And of course, I think some of that can be accredited to NKU's defense.
Yeah,
but it just
what it does.
All of it seemed. It almost seemed like. I guess it almost seemed like they were playing street ball. Like it didn't look like anything. And that's, I guess, not what I want to watch when I'm watching college basketball, right? Like if I want to watch street ball, I'd watch TBT. Like I mean,
I know. I get what you're saying. I will say Wes agreed with you on Dan, to the point that he said like he played great. He had 25 and 9, and it still felt like they were like 6 or 8 things that I wanted to like kill him about. You know, like that. I thought that he should have done better. But like he said, that's a credit to Dan's ceiling, is that a guy can have 25 and 9 and you can go, did he play great today?
I didn't think it was great. Like I didn't honestly think it was a great performance. I thought it was a good performance. I was happy with his performance. I didn't look at it because I feel like right now when I see Seamas play, I haven't felt Seamas has been good yet. I think he's
as a scorer, he hasn't.
Correct.
In a lot of other ways, he's absolutely been fantastic.
But in the ways that have been advertised, which was his shooting ability, I have not seen a game where I've been like, that's a great get. I've not seen a game yet where I've been like, he's impressed me offensively in the scoring realm.
The score, yeah, again, he had 7 assists today,
Right.
and a couple of them were really, really good.
I think actually Day had the best dime of the season today. He had a baseline pass that split a defender and
Yeah,
hit Vic
yeah.
for a dunk, and I think that was probably the best pass that I've seen all season long.
He also had one he completely screwed up when he tried to do that and throw it to Odie, which is not who you throw a tight
Right.
quarters pass to in that situation.
This is what I agree with. I agree, Thrifty, that it's a good sign that even though I feel like I am being critical, yes, but I feel like it's in this particular instance, in this game,
No,
it's
that's
deserving.
why I said I think that's why I also wanted to go live, because I think it's an interesting conversation to have 4 games in with this team, right? Like, one, just to address kind of what you were getting at earlier, we saw the 25 defense for, I think Mick ran it for 5 years, 4 or 5 years. The design of that defense is to make your offense ugly, because it's very difficult to run man-to-man offense against it because of the zone principles. And it's difficult to run a zone offense against it because of the man-to-man principles. So that's at times why it can look a little disjointed. Now, the big difference, Aaron, like if you go back to last year when that zone completely choked out.
Yeah, they weren't able to overcome it. Yeah.
Well, because they have to in that case, and I do think, I'll get to it in a minute. Like, if you can't penetrate, if you can't work the zone and get it to do this, then you're never gonna like have success against it. And I do think, especially the first probably 6 to 8 minutes of the first half, they were like feeling it out, trying to figure out like, okay, where's the spot where I can like make the play to do this. And that did look, you saw a lot of like the shot clock getting down early in that first half. I think as they got towards probably the final 8 minutes of the first half, you saw that a lot, significantly less, because I think they were cracking the code.
And we've talked about already this season that this team, what do they do well? They pass the ball well. They move well. They are shooting within that. It's almost like the D'Antonio, we're going to shoot the 7 seconds or less offense.
Right.
And I don't think it slowed down into ISO ball today, but more so than any other game, it slowed down into ISO ball today. And I think that's where it lost me is I've already in 3 games gotten so used to go. And today it was like, this is quicksand.
That's the whole.
And they still scored 90, which is bananas. But
but my point being, like, so if you watch NKU play, you'll see that a lot, where the first 6 minutes or so, the other team is just trying to figure out like, where can we get it to get this defense moving, because they don't have to. That's the whole point of it. Is if a guy runs from the left baseline to the right wing, normally the guy that's there runs all the way with it, right? And when you do that, then the defense has to react, and somebody has to slide down to cover that open space. And that's how you can do what you talked about, like how you're getting comfortable watching this team move the ball, is because there's player movement and ball movement. And it's not just how people complain for years about a guard passes to a wing, the wing passes back to the guard passes to the wing passes back to the guard. Yeah. No, they've got player movement and ball movement now. Against the 25, player movement is almost negligible because the guy doesn't move. He just slides and passes him off. And so you're not having that impact on the defense where you can move the ball like you're talking about, like you need to. That's the whole, like, remember, the 25 defense came about because Mick didn't think Troy could guard smaller, quicker point guards. So the idea was we'll play this mashed-up defense where Kevin Johnson guards the primary ball handler. Troy can go with the scorer, and they can just kind of slide and switch everything from there and never really get in like bad rotations, bad help side, because you're never really in help side in the 25. You're just in your spot. Like, you're just playing here.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I know we won by 24. It doesn't feel like we won by 24.
No.
Watching this game, it didn't feel like that. And I know I'm being nitpicky, and I probably sound a little whiny, like, oh, they didn't play as fun as I've thought this team has been. But I worry that if NKU had shot the ball better, that this score might have been drastic.
But you have, if you're going to give NKU's defense credit, you have to also give Cincinnati. One of the things that they are doing insanely well right now is guarding the three-point line and making teams take tough, contested three-point shots. Now, it is, because there's not Aziz, it is giving up some points at the rim, but I think right now at least, I think you take that trade. I think you say, we're going to make sure that these lesser teams don't get hot and, impact us that way. We'd rather give up 2 points than give up, 3 threes in 45 seconds, and all of a sudden you're reeling. And I think with this group, Aaron, you're dumb if your plan is to try to protect the rim and leave shooters open. You don't have the rim protectors to do it.
Correct.
So you're playing into your weaknesses instead of your strengths. No, I just think it's an important thing to explain about, like, why people play this defense. I'm surprised more. I mean, it is difficult. It's one of those things that, like, it almost takes a year or most of a year to, like, fully implement it and get your team to understand it, because it is very complex in how you have to communicate and how you have to, like,
I feel like I've heard that
off.
I feel like I've heard that out of NKU before. It takes a year to implement some things.
That's offense, and this is defense.
Oh, okay.
And I am talking about a defense I watched implemented, and I know, I get your.
I'm simply being facetious.
I know. But it is really difficult in terms of the communication of it. And this is what they want. They want to muck you up. But when you do figure it out, you're going to have a chance for a lot of high percentage shots. Like, when you do figure out how to get it to contract and create lanes, there's going to be a lot there. So I wonder, maybe, like, if you went back and started with like 9 minutes to go in the first half, if your opinion would have been different. Because I did feel in the first 10 minutes or so, it was like, they're still getting some points, but, like, are they gonna go into this rut again against this defense? And then it was like,
I think it left I think it put a bad taste in my mouth, and, like, to where it just turned me off on the whole game.
Right.
It was just, I couldn't wait for the game to be over the whole time.
I think you missed a lot of fun game because you watched the first 10 minutes and went, old man yells at cloud.
That's fine.
No, that's, again, I enjoy these conversations because it's like, my brain is in a different mode when I watch games than you.
Yeah.
And that's just the difference of, like, what we do and who we are. I see it.
You're watching you're watching X's and O's.
Right.
I'm watching a team that I love and a sport that I love, and I'm bored.
You might just have had a cranky weekend too.
And we talked about this on off air, and I'm not afraid to admit this. It might be a hangover from watching the game yesterday, and I don't
minus alcohol, without alcohol.
Right. I don't mean I did not get drunk last night.
I'm saying you gotta. I hate this shit hangover.
I'm like, I want to punch the Seapaw in the face right now. hangover. That's just, it is what it is. But and that's no fault of the basketball teams.
Yeah.
Outside of the first 10 minutes, I guess. But I don't know. It was just I felt it was a rough game to watch.
That's fair. I mean, again, styles make fights, right? And like Floyd Mayweather, one of the greatest fighters ever. But guess what? Nobody liked watching his fights because he played defense like he was playing the 25 zone. Just avoid, duck, dodge, get out of the way.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
Yeah. So I get what, like, I do get what you're saying. I just see it more like I enjoy watching when it does get figured out. Because one, the first way they figured it out is they got a couple turnovers and got out in transition. And I guess this goes exactly to your point. If they don't go on that 12-2 run in the final, what was it? 2.5 minutes of the first half.
First half,
where Day got a steal, Newman got a steal. I think somebody hit a three. It was like, but if they would have ended the half with 33 instead of 45.
Well, and they almost got they had a last chance because Vic hits the scoreboard.
Yeah.
That's first. Is that the first time that's happened? Is that the first time this happened since the renovation?
I don't remember it happening. How, like, if Jaron's ball didn't hit it against Toothpaste.
You mean when he took the shot 8 seconds left in the half?
No, in the game.
In the game? Yeah, in the game.
In the game.
6 seconds, 8 seconds, whatever it was.
Not a half. A game, Aaron. A game. But yeah, like the last 3 minutes, if they don't hit that spurt, like if they scored 35 in the first half, what you're saying doesn't sound crazy.
What I'm saying doesn't sound crazy anyway.
No. When you look at the score, when you look at 45 to 31 at half, and people are complaining about it, that sounds crazy. What I'm saying is, with 3 minutes left in the half, they had 33. If they go into the half at 35, then what you're talking about doesn't sound crazy. It makes a lot more sense. So in that first half, the 45 was definitely speed boosted by that final 2-3 minutes.
Sure. Yes.
And then in the second half, I thought they were really good.
I do want to disagree with one of your tweets, though. While I enjoyed the dunk by young Dan Skillings, because I enjoy dunks, it was not the dunk of the season. No shot.
I think it was.
No shot. I know he slapped the backboard, and that's fun. But John Newman's tomahawk was just angry dunk. It was
more angry. Dan's was more pretty, more fluid. Like on one foot, just on somebody.
You did get to see him break away from a far better vantage than from the 50 from half court, about 3 sections up. But
I have preference to Dan's. That's not to discredit Newman's at all. That was definitely more power, like the one hand, the top, like that was, is a great dunk. I thought Dan's was so far my favorite.
I'd even put Odie's up there above Dan's. But
my favorite thing though was Keegan had a guy in his mentions on Twitter because Dan finishes kind of at weird angles. Can Dan Skillings even dunk? He can't dunk, Keegan. He can't dunk. Like, what?
I don't know. I feel like he could jump to where the rim would be at his chest. He's bouncy. He's extremely bouncy. And he doesn't at times know what to do with his own body. I'll give.
He's figuring that out some.
Yeah. Again, we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, though. A little disappointing. I'm just going off shooting here from CMOS, 3 of 8, from CJ Frederick, 1 of 6. Again, this is just being nitpicky. Jizzle kind of had a come to Jesus moment, 2 of 10. And freshmen are going to have that, especially against a defense that they've probably never seen before.
Yeah, he's never played against anything like that in his entire damn life.
The guys who struggled today, as far as shooting goes, the guys who struggled significantly outside of Day are the new guys.
Day didn't struggle.
Everybody else, today. I said outside of Day.
Okay. I thought you were saying. Never mind.
No, I mean,
Jizzle. Well, I mean, it was really three guys that did
CJ.
the heavy lifting. Yeah, I mean, Dan, Vic, and Day did by far the heavy lifting in terms of point production in this one, and they were all very efficient. Everybody else, John was efficient. Everybody else was kind of up and down. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
You can do your stats. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I mean, it was the highest point total that Day's had, though, 20 points, 8 of 11. Super efficient day for him. 2 of 5 from the 3, 2 of 2 from free throw. Better day shooting free throws today, 10 of 13 than we've seen at times through this.
The right guy shot
young season.
That always helps.
Yeah. Dan finished 6 of 8 as far as free throws go. 8 of 12 on the day for him. 25 points, 3 of 5 from 3. His career high. So good on him for that. Vic follows up a 26-point performance with 14, 6 of 11. His dunks were not impressive, but he is making sure when he has the opportunity to finish strong more often than not. But 6 of 11 from the field, 1 of 3 behind the arc, 1 of 2 from the line, 14 rebounds. Led 6 all rebounders. Offensive. 6
Him
offensive.
And Dan each had 6 offensive rebounds. That's outstanding.
But Vic followed it up with 8 defensive as well to lead all defensive rebounders, tied with Dan, as you said, for offensive. His plus minus led everybody with 28. So great job, Vic. In 30 minutes, that's outstanding.
Yeah, Odie in early foul trouble, like Vic had to really log a lot of minutes today, and he was super productive in those minutes and I didn't feel like he looked like he was gasping. Did you, Aaron?
Odie?
No, Vic. In all those minutes, like he gets tired at times. He can get tired pretty quick. He didn't seem like that today.
You're in the arena, so you get to see him anytime you want to look at him. I'm still trying to discern the difference between tired Vic and frustrated Vic, because I feel like the two are not very far apart.
Did you see when he? Hold on a second. I'm gonna have to laugh for a second at just the thought of this. Did you see when he hit the thing? Like did they show a picture of him on video after he hit the scoreboard?
It was brief.
Where he did this? Like, who put that there? Where did that fucking thing come?
He looked very confused. He did look very confused.
The scoreboard. Where did that? Vic, it's there every day. All day, every day. It's right there.
I don't know what angle. He shot it at about a 15-degree angle. Like,
it was so funny because he's like they called a bad foul on him and he was questioning the referee. Like, what do you mean? Who put that there? Is that thing new? Did we just get that before this game? Never seen it before.
Did you guys lower this?
That's what he did.
Did you put it back up as high? Did you put it back up as high as it's supposed to go the last time you lowered it? I've seen it down here. I know.
Walker said that was going in if it wasn't for the scoreboard, Vic. I had that right on track. The trajectory was right there. I mean, shooting splits today, outstanding, especially Second half, they slash 53% from the floor, 6 of 14, 42.9% from three, and 5 of 6 from the line, 83.3%. If that's your half, you got a real good chance you're going to win the game. A really, really good chance that you're going to win the game. And then, Aaron, we have to talk about it again. Even with Jizzle not shooting at a high percentage today, 2 of 6 from the floor, 1 of 3 from three. Or no, hold on.
1 of 4.
2 of 10 from the floor, 1 of 4 from three. But he did have 4 assists, only 1 turnover, a couple defensive rebounds, and then Day 20 points, 2 assists, a steal. They're getting more from the point guard spot than I think any of us would have predicted through the first 4 games coming into the start of this season. Like, I think we all thought there is going to be a more significant learning curve than what we've seen through the first 4 games. Is that fair?
More than fair. I think
we thought today, that we would see their explosion and we would see some talent, but like they would have to learn.
What we saw from Day today in the possession where he goes to the ground, ends up coming up with a steal where I thought about 3 different times was going to come up a jump ball, and then it leads to a breakaway basket.
From
I didn't expect to see those kinds of defensive stops from this kid, especially in the 4th game. Now, granted, the talent isn't at the Big 12 level, and I don't want that to be misconstrued. But we're learning with training wheels, right? You didn't just hop on a bike and run, like and ride it. Like you get what I'm saying. It's fine. I've done too many shows. You don't just get on a bike and ride. Like, you had to start with training wheels, and I think that they're learning really well with training wheels, and I look forward to getting those training wheels off and seeing where we stack up. Because right now, I think everybody who's watching right now, Wes probably included, is got to be really happy with where this team's at, while still knowing that there's plenty of room for improvement.
There's a ton of room for improvement, especially at point guard. But I've been super impressed with the way that, maybe more than anything, the way they've handled themselves on the floor. Like, they've done some dumb shit, more Jizzle than Day, but it doesn't ever look like it's too fast for them, or they're struggling to process. Mm-hmm. It feels like they're making mistakes of effort. They're making mistakes of like, I'm going to do something I don't know, that I'm going to try something that I don't know I can't do yet, because it's always worked for me.
Yeah.
And now I got to figure out that, okay, we might have to do it. It might have to do it not quite like that.
I don't feel like, even with Day's 3 turnovers, even with Jizzle missing 8 shots today, and that's quite a few shots. Let's not get it twisted. I don't feel like I've seen them wear the frustration at any point yet.
That's part of it too. Yeah, that's definitely part of it.
I think that shows a sign of, I guess, just maturation in both these guys. I think it's good that between the two, you aren't running 2 freshmen out there. You're running a guy who's at least played
a junior, yeah,
at least played college basketball, and I think that Day's showing that he does have that maturation, and I think
he's more ready now for sure.
The speed is certainly coming to him much quicker than it is to Jizzle, but I think that's not a knock on where Jizzle's at in his progression.
I think Jizzle's ahead of schedule. Like, I would say confidently ahead of schedule through his first 4 games. Now, will there be some games that we're doing this show talking about Jizzle's got to pick it up? Like, okay, we're 15 games in. He can't have a dip of 1 or 2 games like this, because it has a significant impact on the team, because they need him to be good. But yeah,
I hope we're also not having those same types of conversations about guys like CMOS or guys like CJ.
Yeah, but those guys have played big time basketball, Aaron. Like Seamoss played a year in the 2 years in the Big East. CJ's played 2 years in the Big Ten, 2 years in the SEC. Like, I don't worry about it from them as much because they understand the grind of it. Are there going to be ups and downs? Yeah, that's. But what's the nice thing that we've talked about? It looks like when there are ups and downs, there are going to be other guys to step up. Again, today, CJ and Seamoss from your top 4 or 5 guys didn't do a whole lot, but they won against a solid team by 24 points. And the game was, for 30 minutes, never really felt in question. So
that's now three different scorers who have hit 20 in 4 games. 3 different guys. And we talked about that leading up to the season, that we thought that there would be multiple different guys who could hit that. But I think that's part of why we weren't going to see anybody averaging 15 plus.
Yeah, because one game they're going to have 26 and the other game they're going to have 8. But it's not going to hurt the team like last year if Landers had 8. If Landers had 8 last year, that team was in big trouble.
Up Schitt's Creek.
And this team is looking right now, early, looking like they're going to have some answers that last year's team didn't have. So that's really promising. Thrifty Walrus is exactly right on this. Even though Seamoss' shooting hasn't picked up yet, he makes the right reads and keeps the ball moving. He helps take some pressure off the point guards, having a steady presence on the court. Well, this is what Wes talked about before the season about playing through Seamoss. Not necessarily having him be your quote-unquote point guard, but you can play through him because he makes the right read. He makes the right decision. He understands where everybody's supposed to be and how his movement impacts that picture. He's really, really good on offense. Like, I said this from the first open gym I saw this summer. Every time Seamoss and CJ were on the floor together, Aaron, it just looked like it looked like basketball Aaron Smith wants to watch. Because they both know how to pass, they know how to move, they know where everybody's going to be. They don't have to jump in the air and try to throw it to a guy that might or not be in the spot that they hope they are. It's advanced basketball. That's what you're getting. You're getting spoiled a little bit, I think.
I'm good with it.
I don't know. I don't have a ton else unless there's anything else, any questions people have.
I have something else.
Okay.
I want to talk about the presser. And in the presser, just seems to me that great minds think alike. Why?
Okay.
Because Wes Miller brought up the mission statement of the NCAA, which I was also trying to bring up on Monday and was told that it didn't matter. It didn't matter. It didn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Great minds think alike. I'm not saying he was listening, but I'm saying we were on the same page.
That's fair. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. And I think he actually had it printed out because the paper he walked in with
he was very
was not a stat sheet.
Absolutely. No.
It was not a stat sheet. I noticed it
crystal clear what that was.
When he came in, when he walked in and sat down, he had it. And you could see the coloring because it looked like I had like a blue header at the top that you could see through the page. And I was like, that is not a stat sheet, sir. What is that?
It looked like he was on cardstock as well. Like it sounded when he was hitting it on the table. He was making sure that didn't get crumpled.
Folded it.
Well,
he folded it like 4 times.
I thought he had it on cardstock, but
hey, look,
you're right.
We do this a lot when we're right. When we're specifically right, we gonna talk about it. That's what we're here for.
Especially when called out wrong by the other. Absolutely.
I still say it doesn't matter. I'm still but but he used it as a very, very.
Look, I was just waiting for you. I was just waiting for you to stand up, waving your arms and telling him it didn't matter. That was the only part we were missing.
I should have. Wes.
That might have been the last presser you were out at for a while, but
he was rolling. I wasn't talking at that point. I wasn't talking at that point.
This is a good question. You might know. I think I saw a report that NBA scouts have been in attendance. Who are they watching? Anyone there tonight?
I don't pay attention to it much, Steven. I have a couple of those guys that are friends of mine that if I see them, we'll chat. The thing you have to realize is like there's a bunch of them that just they all have areas. So if there's like regions. they'll check the games in their area, their region, and then they'll just go to that game. I'm sure their NBA teams are keeping an eye on CMOS. CJ potentially, if he can stay healthy with his shooting, might be a little undersized at this point for a 2, but they're going to scout shooters. I'm sure they're going to want to ask to see Aziz maybe work out or do something down in the practice gym or whatever. Vic, I think definitely, at 7 foot, if he shows can he shoot the ball, and we're starting to see that he can, then he becomes, that's the key for Vic. He's got to show he can consistently shoot the ball, and then he has a much better opportunity to catch an eye at that level at 7 foot and a guy that can rebound and do the things he can do. So yeah. I'm a loofah guy, Ed. I think that's about it. I guess I was just making sure there wasn't anything I missed.
There was something in the chat earlier. I don't know if there's any other instances you can think of without going back to Jaren, but I guess 20 points from a point guard.
Micah had a couple. Dave had a bunch. And
if you're counting Dave as a point guard and not a 2, I guess.
I mean, they played him with the ball in his hand for,
more
a year and a half
than off the
consistently. Ball. Yeah. So yeah, it's not that rare.
Okay.
And then, I think people like Troy wasn't that long ago. I know it feels like it was a long time ago. Troy wasn't that long ago.
He's putting some good numbers up out in what in the Greek league?
Yeah, I think he's in Greece now. Yeah, he was in Turkey for a long time, but I think I remember telling him Greece. I think I remember telling him telling me Greece. I know it seems forever ago for Troy, but that was 2016. So 7 years, but I mean, in sports, if you're already going back, Dave, and then Micah, and then Dave, and then Justin Jennifer and Kane ran point for a couple years, and before that it was Troy. It's only 3 or 4 point guards back. Yeah, so
might be Spain.
Is he in Spain now? Oh, that's the life.
UCAM Murcia. It's UCAMdeportes.com. I would think that would be Spain. I don't think he's in Mexico.
No. He's okay. Steven said he's in Spain. Right. That's the life, bro. If you want to go anywhere overseas, they don't wake up until 10 o'clock in Spain. There are no morning people in Spain. And then they work from 10 to 4 and they take a nap. And then they come back and work after that. It's my ideal. I've never heard anything more appealing in my life than moving to Spain and opening up a small business. But I guess that's about it for the game, Aaron. I mean, I did love 21 assists on 35 baskets, especially against the zone. That can be something that we saw it last year that forces you into isolation and forces a lot of long, unrealistic jump shots. That's very encouraging. If you can get 21 assists, I guess, against that, the way that defense plays you, you're going to rack up a shit ton of assists this year.
And I still didn't think they passed the ball enough.
Right. 45-30 advantage on the glass, 18 offensive rebounds for Cincinnati. They were really good. And NKU's not a big team. You need to pound them on the glass, and they did. I think that's all I got.
Yeah. Take the low-hanging fruit while it's there.
They won. Win. Did you just call NKU low-hanging fruit?
No, I'm saying if you have a matchup that favors you, you need to win those matchups.
I was taking a shot at NKU. Low-hanging fruit. You just pick off the low-hanging fruit when you can. I was told that was the best out-of-conference team that UC would play this year, or that has played so far this year.
That's not what I saw.
I concur.
Game.
And Aaron thought UC played like shit, and they won by 24. That tells you how lowly he thinks of NKU. Let's get to the Big 12 Week 12 recap. Only one more of these left, Aaron.
And then we can take the season out back and put it down old Yeller style. My God.
Texas 26-16 over Iowa State. Iowa State did everything they could to make that a rock fight. And it worked for the most part, but it just wasn't enough. Texas now inside track. They win Friday night against Texas Tech. They are in the Big 12 championship game.
It was 6-3 at halftime.
Yep. Yeah.
That's a more boring game than the UC basketball game. But anyway. There's no surprises there. Texas did what we expected Texas to do. Iowa State, they tried. Good on you.
At home, night game, a lot of energy, but guess what? That only lasts for so long. And if you can't get up and build a lead, they're going to get you, because then you're just kind of hanging there. Oklahoma 31-24 over BYU. A little surprised at this one.
Yeah.
Although it's Aaron's theory on Oklahoma that they just do this
all
year, which they lost to Oklahoma State. Then they absolutely beat the piss out of West Virginia. Mm-hmm. And then they go to Baylor, and Baylor barely beat BYU. Beat BYU.
They came back to earth. They were on an ebb when they needed to flow.
Odd number weeks they ebb, even number weeks they flow.
It's been odd. The whole thing has been very strange. But Dylan Gabriel.
It's what happens when you have Dylan Gabriel as your quarterback.
He ended up 13 of 21, 191, 2 touchdowns. Did he get injured in this one? Because
I don't know.
A freshman ended up throwing 9 passes, 5 of 9, 33 yards. Unless they put him in during garbage time, I'm not sure.
There wasn't any garbage time. They took it was tied at 24 at the end of the third quarter.
Well, maybe they just wanted to get their freshmen some actual game experience. So strange, weird that Oklahoma would do something like that.
Oh, you mean like redshirt freshman Brady Lichtenberg, who has gotten?
No.
Okay. Oh, it's different. It's different. Because what had happened was
I didn't see if he was redshirt or if he was a true freshman.
Oh shit. But keep going. I didn't mean to stop you.
I digress. But yeah, I didn't expect to see BYU anywhere near close to that game.
Right. Especially tied going into the fourth.
But that's what happens when you
BYU got next week.
They got Oklahoma State.
And if they lose, they don't get a bowl. They got to win to get bowl eligible.
In Stillwater, Oklahoma State currently favored by 17.5. So good luck.
Yeah.
all those carpenters and plumbers and
Kansas State 31-27 over Kansas. This was an outstanding game.
no Jason Bean.
He played some, didn't he?
No, this was the Cole Ballard show.
Oh,
no Jason Bean. Jason Bean was a game time decision, and he did not get the green light. So the freshman Cole Ballard.
Speculation that he was going to play. Like I guess I assumed he played some and like split with the freshman. I knew the freshman played because I saw people talking about it. I thought Bean played a little too. Wow.
And he did so 11 of 16, 162, a touchdown, 2 picks. But Devin Neal, it was more about Devin Neal. 18 carries, 138 yards, average of 7.7, 3 touchdowns. Well done.
Yeah.
He didn't. I mean, but it was a good performance, just not enough to upset Kansas State. And that's, again, not really a surprise when you're playing your 3rd string quarterback. So Will Howard did his thing as he's done. 165 on 13 of 24, 2 touchdowns and a pick. DJ Giddens led all rushers, 21 carries, 102 yards, a touchdown. Will Howard also had a touchdown on the ground. They did enough to get by.
I saw some Kansas State fans kind of in the middle of that game a little chippy about Will Howard being on the field and not the young gun that they've used before.
Well, and the backup has been more than serviceable. Did you lose me? Did I lose you? Not really sure. One of us is. I don't know if Chad is frozen or if I'm frozen. Somewhere in the middle of time. But 31-27 then for you're back.
I'm back. Yeah.
I didn't know if it was me or you.
No, it was me. I was just talking, and then I stopped talking and you didn't answer, and then I looked and it was just spinning circles.
Well, I just wanted to make sure. Couldn't tell. They did say they I was looking to see if I had the bars. I didn't. Anyway. But yeah, Kansas State, they have every reason, I guess, because the kid who's come in has been more than serviceable. He's been a dual threat. But Will Howard wins. He wins games. And what do you do with a quarterback who wins games? You play him.
Yes. I mean, you know how far behind I was, Aaron? I was talking about Oklahoma State Houston when I realized that I had the stats page pulled up, so I wasn't looking at the StreamYard page.
It's probably ESPN's fault for every time you load a new page, they have to load a video to show you about God knows what.
Yes.
But a commercial first.
Oklahoma State 43, Houston 30. Houston started out well in this game, but once Oklahoma State got going, Houston had no chance.
That's no surprise. Ollie Gordon gets dinged up in this one.
Yeah, a little bit.
Not great, but 25 carries, 164, and 3 touchdowns for him on the day. Not bad.
Only 164. Like, what a disappointment for that guy.
I mean, he was no Jaheim White, but he got the job done.
Hey, can you ban Thrifty Walrus for me?
Never.
Huh.
Brought his
All right. Aaron, is that actually your lady friend sitting up in the living room, just jabbing at me through the Thrifty Walrus account?
If it was, I would be so proud of her. I would not let her hide. I would not let her hide behind an anonymous screen name. I would have her change the name to Queen Rachel at that point.
Oh boy.
But yeah, Dana Holgorsen does Dana Holgorsen things, so doesn't get the upset on Oklahoma State.
TCU 42, Baylor 17.
I'm shocked.
Can they keep Dave Aranda? Can they? Like I expected TCU to win that game, but not like that. Not like that.
Depending on the contract, if the contract is anywhere near something that you can get out of, probably 2 or 3 years remaining, then yeah, you have to do it. It doesn't matter what he's done for you in the past. At this point, I'd be terrified. I would be terrified as to what it is, and some of the reports that are coming out as from players on the team currently about, well, they only practice the first and second stringers, and there's no development at all. These coming from anonymous players still on the team. I get it that it's an anonymous quote and you can do with that what you will. But when you have players essentially saying that my coach has no idea what he's doing for my development, you've probably lost the locker room.
It's not great. It's not great, Bob. I think they probably have to make a change. Good on Sonny Dykes. I mean,
didn't see that coming.
That was a butt whipping. And then UCF gets up 14-0 early, only to lose 24-23. That's tough, man. I feel bad for those guys.
Not the first time they've done that this season either, where they've built up a decent lead and then ended up getting just eked by the skin of their teeth. But I had money on Texas Tech, so well done.
So you felt good about it. All right.
Felt right.
That's good show, mate. Jolly good show. All right. I think that should be about it for tonight. We will we'll be back to listen to Royer and Brent talk tomorrow night on
everybody knows where I stand on everything at this
right. Point. Me too. Like we're good. So we'll be back for that tomorrow night. But thanks to everybody for tuning in. Always a good show. We appreciate it. That's the Nightcap brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya.